Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen and enjoy my stories every day. It was our 5th wedding anniversary, and I was determined to make it unforgettable. That morning, I surprised my wife, Miranda, with a pair of cruise tickets for the Caribbean, a dream getaway that promised 7 sun-soaked days away from the stresses of our jobs and daily routines. Her reaction, however, was lukewarm, a hesitant smile that didn't reach her eyes, which I attributed to the shock of the surprise. Little did I know, the real shock was yet to come. As the days drew closer to our departure, Miranda's late nights at the office became more frequent. Just tying up loose ends before the holiday, she would say, but the nagging feeling in my gut told me something was amiss. Driven by a mix of suspicion and desperation, I did something I never thought I would. I hired a private detective. The detective was efficient. Within a week, he provided undeniable evidence of Miranda's affair with a coworker, Derek. The photos, the text messages, it was all there, clear as day. My heart raced with betrayal and fury. Everyone in our close circle knew of my rage. I made no secret of my desire to confront Derek, to make him pay for intruding on my marriage. One fateful evening, as I returned home from a walk to clear my mind, I froze in horror. There, on our doorstep, lay Derek, lifeless, his face pale in the moonlight. The scream of police sirens filled the air, growing louder as they approached. Panic set in. It was a setup, a sinister plot to frame me, and I knew I had to act fast to clear my name. The investigation was grueling. My own innocence hung by a thread as I scrambled to piece together the events that led to Derek's demise. During this chaos, I discovered a trail of deceit that led straight back to Miranda. It was her, orchestrating this macabre plot to rid herself of both her lover and her husband. The revelation came during a tense interrogation. Faced with mounting evidence, Miranda's composure crumbled, and she confessed. She had planned to murder Derek and frame me, hoping to escape with a hefty life insurance payout. Her cold, calculated confession sent chills down my spine. The woman I loved, the woman I had vowed to cherish, was a stranger, a dangerous, manipulative stranger. Betrayed and broken, I took action. The divorce was swift, stripping her of any financial benefits and leaving her to face the consequences of her actions alone. As I walked away from the courthouse, a free man, the weight of the past weeks lifted slightly, leaving a bitter void filled with the echoes of betrayal. Our anniversary gift had turned into a ticket to freedom, not from mundane life, but from a poisonous relationship. I never saw Miranda again. The journey ahead would be one of healing, but as the cruise ship sailed without us, I knew the hardest part of my journey was already behind me. The morning after Derek's body was discovered on our doorstep, the reality of my situation begins to sink in. I'm a prime suspect in a murder case, framed by my own wife, and every second I stand still, the noose tightens. I didn't do it, I swear, I assert as Detective Larson, a stern-looking woman with sharp eyes, flips through her notebook in my living room. The police had searched our house, seizing computers, phones, anything that might link me to Derek's murder. Your threats against the deceased were well known, Mr. Jennings. Care to explain? Her tone is skeptical, her gaze piercing. I lean forward, my hands shaking slightly. Listen, I was angry, yes. Anyone would be. But murder? That's not me. I hired a detective because I suspected an affair, not to plot a killing. Detective Larson raises an eyebrow. A detective? You have proof of this? I nod eagerly, retrieving the receipt and the detective's report from my jacket pocket. Here. Check the dates. My focus was on exposing the affair, not violence. She takes the documents, her expression unreadable. We'll verify this. If what you're saying is true, it might help your case. Grateful for a sliver of hope, I watch as she steps outside to make a call. Alone, I think about Miranda, her betrayal more painful than the cold suspicion of the police. How could she craft such a sinister plan? And why? The love I once felt now curdles into something dark and vengeful. As Detective Larson returns, her face gives nothing away. We'll need more from you. Alibis, interactions with Mr. Sutherland, everything. I understand, I reply, feeling the gravity of the investigation. Can I speak to my wife? I need answers. That might not be possible. She's under protective custody after her confession, Larson informs me, her words like a punch to the gut. Protective custody. The term echoes ominously. It's clear, Miranda had been steps ahead of me the entire time. I need to find my own edge. Detective, please. There must be something you missed, some evidence at the scene that points to someone else. She considers for a moment, then sighs. Look, Mr. Jennings, if you think of anything that could prove your innocence, you'd better speak up now. This is a serious accusation. Determined, I spend the next few hours poring over every interaction with Derek, every fight with Miranda. I recall a particular evening when Miranda seemed anxious, whispering on the phone. She thought I was asleep, but I heard her say, "It has to be tonight." Night falls, and I am left alone with my thoughts, the house eerily quiet without Miranda. The isolation fuels my resolve to uncover the truth and clear my name. I can't let her win this twisted game. The chapter closes with me seated at my desk, surrounded by photos and notes, a map of connections and alibis spread before me. My phone buzzes, a message from an unknown number. Miranda wasn't alone in this. Be careful who you trust. The intrigue deepens, pulling me further into a web of deceit that extends beyond my worst nightmares. I know this is just the beginning, and as I stare into the dark corners of my once happy home, I brace for what comes next. The message on my phone casts a new layer of suspicion over everything I thought I knew. Miranda wasn't alone in this. Be careful who you trust. Who could know such details, and why contact me anonymously? The seed of paranoia takes root, and I realize that uncovering the truth might be even more dangerous than I anticipated. The following day, armed with a restless energy, I visit the detective's office unannounced. Detective Larson, caught off guard by my appearance, frowns as she sees me enter. Mr. Jennings, we usually schedule these meetings. I know, but I received a message last night. It said Miranda had help. That I can't trust anyone. I show her the message, the screen illuminating the dimness of the precinct hallway. Her eyes narrow as she reads, then she hands back the phone. Could be someone trying to manipulate you further, or it could be a lead. Either way, we'll trace it. Please, do it quickly. I'm living in a nightmare, I implore, my voice edged with desperation. Larson nods, signaling an officer to take the phone for analysis. Come, let's talk in my office. Inside, the walls are lined with files and cold cases, a testament to countless unresolved secrets. Larson sits behind her desk, her demeanor shifting from official to tentatively sympathetic. You said you need answers, Mr. Jennings. Start by thinking about anyone who could benefit from framing you besides your wife. I sit across from her, racking my brain. There's no one I can think of. My friends, our families, no one would benefit from such a mess. Think harder. Affairs, betrayals, they can entangle more than just the obvious suspects, she advises, her tone pressing. As we speak, an officer interrupts, a printout in hand. We traced the number, detective. It's registered to a prepaid burner phone, purchased last week. Any CCTV footage of the purchase? Larson asks. They're pulling it now. Should have it within the hour. Larson turns back to me. See? We're making progress. Now, I need you to go home and wait there. If this is a bigger conspiracy, you might be in danger. I nod, understanding the gravity of her words. As I leave, my mind spins with possibilities. At home, I begin a thorough search of Miranda's things, something I'd been avoiding out of a mix of denial and sorrow. Amidst her belongings, I find a small, locked drawer. Breaking it open, my hands tremble as I find a stash of letters and another phone, hidden aspects of Miranda I never knew. The letters are from Derek, but they're not romantic, they're conspiratorial, discussing someone else, someone powerful who was manipulating their actions. The phone is locked, but a sticky note under it bears a password. I enter it, and the device comes alive with messages and emails that paint a chilling picture. Miranda and Derek were being blackmailed into their affair, pushed to their limits by an unknown figure for reasons not yet clear. My phone rings, snapping me out of my shock. It's Larson. We got the CCTV footage. You need to see this. I meet her at the station, where she plays the footage. The person buying the burner phone is none other than Derek's ex-wife, a woman scorned by his infidelity but someone I had never considered a threat. Looks like we've got a new angle on this whole mess, Larson states, pausing the footage on her face, twisted in anger and determination. Let's bring her in, I suggest, feeling a mix of relief and dread. Perhaps she's the key to unraveling this entire twisted plot. The precinct is tense with anticipation as Derek's ex-wife, Evelyn, is escorted into the interrogation room. Detective Larson and I watch through the one-way mirror, her presence promising to unravel the convoluted layers of deceit surrounding Miranda's and Derek's actions. Larson opens the door, her demeanor stern. Evelyn, thank you for coming in. We have a few questions about your recent activities. Evelyn, her face a mask of defiance, sits rigidly. I don't see why I'm here. I haven't done anything wrong. I step into the room, my gaze fixed on her. Really? Because we have footage of you buying a burner phone, the same phone used to threaten me. Her eyes flicker with surprise, then harden. So what? Derek ruined my life. I wanted revenge, but I didn't kill him. But you bought the phone, Evelyn. Why contact me? I press, leaning forward. She scoffs, to throw you off the scent. I knew if you thought Miranda was setting you up, you'd dig deeper. I thought it might bring out the truth, whatever that was. Larson interjects, and what truth were you hoping for? Evelyn hesitates, then spills, that Miranda was behind everything. She manipulated Derek from the start. He told me they were being blackmailed by someone powerful, but he wouldn't say who. I thought if I could stir things up, it might force Miranda to expose her accomplice. The pieces click into place, a chilling realization dawning on me. Her accomplice, the one pulling all the strings. Yes, Evelyn snarls. I suspected someone was helping her, someone who wanted you out of the picture as much as she did. Armed with this new information, Larson and I confront Miranda one last time. She's more composed now, a stark contrast to the crumbling facade I saw in her last confession. Miranda, we know there was someone else, Larson states firmly. Evelyn believed you had an accomplice. Who was it? Miranda's lips curl into a cold, mirthless smile. Wouldn't you like to know? Frustration boils within me, but then an idea strikes, a risky, but potentially revealing move. I lean close, whispering harshly, what if I already know? What if they're ready to turn on you, just like you turned on everyone else? Her facade cracks, just slightly. You don't know anything. But her glance towards the one-way mirror, a flicker of doubt in her eyes, tells me everything. You're wrong, Miranda. I do know. And they've already agreed to testify against you. The bluff works. Miranda breaks, revealing her co-conspirator, a high-profile lawyer, her mentor, who had orchestrated the blackmail to control Derek and ensure Miranda's compliance in a larger, more sinister scheme involving corporate espionage. With the full story revealed, the police swiftly move in, arresting both Miranda and her accomplice. The evidence is overwhelming, and their trials are swift, ending with long sentences. The chapter and the story close on a stark note. I stand outside the courthouse, the weight of the past months evident in my eyes. Betrayal had cost me everything, my wife, my peace of mind, my trust in others. Yet, there's a cold satisfaction in having dismantled the lives of those who betrayed me, just as they had tried to ruin mine. Revenge, I realize, doesn't bring closure, it only perpetuates the cycle of pain. As I turn away, a free man in one sense but forever changed in another, I vow to rebuild, to find trust again, though the shadows of this ordeal will likely linger for a lifetime.